I bet you can't watch every step it takes to make chicken noodle soup from scratch. Here we go. First, you gotta break down a whole chicken. I would show you how to do it, but I'll be honest, I don't think I'm that good at it yet. So you could just buy chicken bones separately or a whole rotisserie chicken and pull it apart. Lay out all your chicken bones on a baking sheet and drizzle a little olive oil on all of them. From there, throw them in an oven set to 425 degrees conventional bake for about 45 minutes to an hour. Now we're gonna work on our Mirepoix, which is just 1 large onion or 3 small onions if the grocery store decides to throw you a curveball. Cut into fairly large chunks. Then grab 7 pieces of celery and cut them as well. 3 whole carrots cut into chunks, and 2 heads of garlic split in half. Throw them all in a bowl and set aside. Then you're gonna wanna pull your chicken bones out of the oven and let them cool first before throwing them into a large pot. And don't forget to pour all the drippings that fell into the pan into that pot as well. That stuff tastes delicious, so do not throw it away. Now start pouring water into that same pot with the bones, and then realize you forgot to put your Mirepoix in there as well, so throw that in and then continue pouring until it's filled. Turn your burner onto high and then wait for it to hit a rapid boil. While you wait, grab your chicken breasts that you broke down and throw them on the same wire rack as you did the bones, and throw them in an oven set to bake at 350 degrees for about 40 minutes. For the dark meat, I would suggest storing them in a container or a Ziploc bag. It'll be better utilized somewhere else besides the soup. Now, once your pots hit a rapid boil, bring your temperature down to a simmer and then throw in some thyme, rosemary, sage, black peppercorns, and bay leaf. You want this soup to simmer at around 180 degrees, which means you shouldn't be seeing any bubbles boiling over, but it's close to that point. Now, after the 40 minutes are up, pull your chicken breasts out and they should be hitting an internal temperature of 160 degrees. If you don't have a meat thermometer, I would suggest baking an additional 10 minutes just to be safe. Once your chicken has cooled, shred them with your hands into bite-sized soup bites and then throw them into a container for later. Now leave your soup simmering overnight. Anywhere between 12 to 16 hours is more than enough. The next morning, you should see that your soup has extracted a lot of flavors from everything that was thrown into it. Now try your best to strain all the liquids out. I used a ladle at first and then poured it into a bowl with a strainer attached. Once the solids are separated from the broth, feel free to throw those scraps in the trash, or if you're like me, on the ground. And that right there is your soup broth, the source of all the flavors you'll be getting from your chicken noodle soup. But you still need to season your broth. Throw in a healthy pinch of salt and give it a taste. If the flavors aren't punching your taste buds enough, give it another pinch of salt and taste. Continue this step until the flavors are really coming through the broth. You should be able to notice a difference between your first pinch of salt and your last. From there, we're gonna work on some garnish. Grab a few carrots and peel and chop them. I decided to chop them at an angle because I thought it looked kind of cool and fun. Throw the carrots in a pot and then pour your broth until they're covered. Now put that pot on a stove and simmer until the carrots are nice and soft. From there, we are making our noodles, and I'll be honest, you don't really have to do this step, but I used 2 cups of flour, 3 eggs, and a splash of olive oil as well as a pinch of salt. Mix that together until you get a dough and then roll that dough out and cut into thick pieces. Now, once your carrots have softened, throw them and the broth back into your main stock mixture. And remember that shredded chicken, throw that into the broth as well and give it a good mixing. Now, we are finally almost done. All you gotta do is cook the noodles in boiling salted water for a couple minutes, throw them into a bowl and then ladle a hefty scoop of broth in there, and boom, you have a stupid good soup that is guaranteed to give you this reaction when you try it. Now, don't forget to store all your soup into separate containers so that way you can give it to a friend or put it in the fridge for yourself. If you made it this far, thank you for watching until now. I greatly appreciate your help, and let me know what you think of this chicken noodle soup recipe.